Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the I Work in Sport live interview. This is the show where we talk to accomplished sport business professionals who come here to share their knowledge, experience, tips, and advice in order to help you succeed in your career. If you're just meeting, my name is João Frigerio. I'm the founder of I Work in Sport, and I want to thank you for being here with us today. If you're coming back, you know the drill. Let me know where you're watching from, right? We always ask that. And obviously, if this is your first time, also please let us know where you're watching from, okay? If you don't know I Work in Sport, we're a platform to help you accelerate your career in sport. If you want to know more about that, just check iworkingsport.com. Where is it? Oh, there you go. Check us out there. You'll see everything that we do. Also, if you would like to connect with like-minded professionals and to have access to some exclusive content, like, for instance, free career coaching sessions, I invite you to join our community. That is weworkinsport.com. Since that's a community, we call it We Work in Sport. By the way, We Work in Sport members have discounts to various industry events like the World Football Summit in Sevilla that is coming up now in mid-September, and the Soccer X in Miami in November. So there's a link in the description of the video. If you want to join, it's free, and then you can get a discount to those events. Lastly, if you're coming back, you like us, please, and if you're watching it on YouTube, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. That is really helpful. And okay, that is enough about us, about I Work in Sport. Let me introduce you my guests today. Today I have the pleasure to welcome to the show Lourenço Menezes. He is the international business manager at Sport Lisboa e Benfica, mostly known as Benfica, right? The big club in Portugal. Everybody knows the club. Historically, it's one of the most important clubs in Europe and the most decorated team in Portugal, right? It's a club of the great Eusébio, who I was fortunate enough to meet, and many others. Today, although it may not be considered a Champions League title contender, the club has shown important growth in the latest years. It's considered one of the best academies in the world. A lot of the club's growth and international expansion comes from development in that area. So we're going to talk about that with Lourenço in a bit. He has a very interesting experience in football, including short stints working for UEFA and FIFA at the Champions League final in Lisbon and the World Cup in Brazil. So I can't really wait to learn from him. So let me invite Lourenço to meet me here right after this. Hello, Lourenço. Welcome to the I Work in Sport interview. It's a pleasure to have you here, my friend. I know that we usually speak in Portuguese, but today it's for an international audience. That's your audience too, your public too. So welcome.
Hey, João. Very nice to be here. It's an honor to participate in your podcast. You always bring a great content, and I'm a big fan of your work. And I work in sports. Actually, we work in sports, and it's great to be here.
Good. Yeah, it's funny. I think first time that we met, actually, you mentioned that you already was watching these interviews back then. No, can't remember the year
Yeah,
exactly, but it was a few years ago.
probably. I think that I started to follow you probably in 2017 or 18 when you start uh, with the company, and I work in sports. And what's funny our story, because we were in Barajas in the airport to the World Football Summit, and you give me a ride, and in fact I didn't recognize you from the internet for the personal contact. We was in the taxi. Just when you gave me the card, the business card, I noticed, oh, this is the big João Frigerio. Wow. Oh, it's you. I remember that I was looking by the mirror, oh, it's you. And I realized that that's the João Frigerio. And from them, we started a good relation. We was in Lisbon some years ago, and it was great. It was great, and always great to follow you, your work, your the content that you share. And you, one good thing that I like in you and some other people is linking good people, and absolutely you are one of that guys.
That's what we try to do. Thank you, and you as well. When I spent a few months in Lisbon during the pandemic, you were also very very kind. Took me out to dinner there, and was an excellent host. So thank you a lot for that. Anyway, that's not why people are here. They really want to learn more about your career, how you started working
Mhm.
in football, in sport. I think you have a super interesting position, right, in a big European club, and helping that club expand even more internationally. Benfica is already an international brand, um, very well known worldwide, but I know there's a lot of competition out there, so we want to learn all about that. But before we talk about the work in particular that you do, maybe you can start by just giving a summary of your career, right? Maybe what you studied, what your background, and how you started working in sport until how you got to work for Benfica, which I understand is your club, right? The club that you support since you're a child. So it's a dream job for many people watching us. Yeah, tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, well, let's start from the beginning. Yes, I born and raised in Lisbon. Very typical Portuguese, classic family. Um, Basically, I had all my life sports around. I lived near the beach with surf, with kite surf, windsurf, football, a lot of football, running, and I never been an athlete, but I was a sportsman, trying every sports with many groups of friends, and this developed this interest for sports and the understanding of sports. Um, Unfortunately, I lost my parents very very early, on the 20s, and I had to start work in the very early stage. I started with 20 years old with a sports chain. Was Visual Sport, was sports, very good sports chains near Lisbon, and I worked about 10 years there. Was a good school, working with Adidas, Nike, also surf brands like Quicksilver, Rip Curl, and also this house, they had sports equipment, sports goods for water sports, and snowboard, and also skiing, and mountain bike. Well, what was a very uh, uh, big range of sports, and from the years I specialized more on the water sports, and from there I created a company with my former boss, with the company specialized in water sports. Was very successful at the time. This was about 2000, 2001, 2002. and we had the company more or less 10 years. And the market went from the selling goods and distribution to the events. Basically, we noticed during this process that it's much better business bringing people to do events in Portugal and connect more with experiences instead of selling the equipment, selling the goods, and was a good path, was a good movement to go on that direction. At the time, Portugal became and we more than become, we realized that we have an incredible tourism country, and we start to do this business of incoming for corporations, incoming for individual incentives, all these areas of tourism, always connected with sports. My role was always connected with sports, but also with tourism and events. And more or less in 2013, 2014, I changed a bit more for football. I had the opportunity to work in the World Cup in Brazil. It was an incredible experience in the World Cup. And from there, I started to work in events, not just in football, but Volvo Ocean Race, Formula One, MotoGP, a lot of big events that gave me a lot of experience and operational experience and also planning. But the idea was football. Always in my mind, I was passionate for football. I'm passionate for Benfica. And when I realized, because probably the new generation, they don't have this idea, but some 1 or 2 decades ago, it was impossible to work in football. It was just for a few guys, someone that knows someone in the club, was not exactly in the industry. But with 2004, the Euro Cup in Portugal, and after that, we realized that, well, football is an industry. There's a lot of money involved. There is a lot of investment. These investment and transferences for the players are arriving to the big clubs, and to the big clubs they buy players, and for the second division, third division, and this money is there, and well, there's opportunity to do something in football, not just in the 3 big clubs in Portugal or national federation. There's started to have opportunities also in other clubs, and slowly, step by step, I entered in a club on third division. We reorganized the club. Was a very poor club, but very, very traditional ones near Lisbon. The name was 1 de Dezembro. I became general manager. I worked there about 3 years, and was a very good project. Also very connected with international, with Canada. We had a investor from Canada, and we prepared the club for international programs to bring new players, young players, to have an experience for 1 month or a year, playing and training in Portugal. Besides that, they also study, and this gave me the experience and the understanding of the industry much more in deeply, to one day to candidate to Benfica, and this happened after the COVID, and it was great.
And how did you get to find that opportunity at your club, the club that you support?
Yeah, actually, I worked in the Cosmos, it is the official travel agency of Portuguese Federation, logistics and travel agency. They are very specialized on this area. I was the director of incoming of Cosmos. And that experience in Cosmos, with also the football club third division, with some other good experience in the past, create an opportunity to candidate here in Benfica. I remember to have a good conversation with my boss, Bernardo Carvalho, I told him my experience and the skills and experience in the sports tourism industry, and they are looking here for someone with my skills, and it was very easy. From there, it was just a question to send a business plan and to show my skills, and in 2 or 3 months we planned my entry. They liked the profile, and and it was a bit.
So if I understand correctly, So Lourenço, was that a position that was actually advertised, that a lot of people applied to, or is something that you heard of from your connections there with the club?
Well, this is a good question, because it's a good question not just for me, but also for this audience that's looking for a job and or opportunities, looking for. I think it's important we understand very well the clubs, study the opportunities, and try to guide our career and our experience for what the clubs are looking for, or what the companies are looking for. We have to resolve problems and opportunities. And I noticed that Benfica is expanding, obviously, and we have an international department, bringing teams, bringing players, bringing coaches, sending Benfica coaches all over the world. And my experience in sports tourism was very, very good. And I talked with Bernardo and candidate to the position. And the things happen more or less in a good way because that it's necessary to be a bit proactive, to have some skills, and if someone give you the opportunity, you have to show that you can, and that business plan was super important on that. I prepared a good business plan. He organized the meeting first with his team. I was here in Benfica. We discussed a couple of times, and I prepared a business plan complete, a good PowerPoint with a lot of slides with the plan. Probably was very extensive, but touched in the points, and he decided for my contract.
I see. Now, this is very interesting to hear, because actually, at the job fair that we hosted here a few months ago, we had one presenter who's a career coach that actually has some sessions that we work in sport community as well. A guy called Dominique Cobat. He started, presenting. He gave maybe a 45-minute presentation and showed that maybe 80% of the jobs are actually not advertised. Right, so people they only see like the tip of the iceberg, and there's working on their connections or on their networks and things like that. It's quite important to see, get aware of opportunities that might be there for you, and I think you're an excellent example of that. Now, tell me, what is it exactly that you do as an international business manager?
Just compliment your words. I think that's a combination between today, obviously, a club like Benfica with the HR process, with all these procedures that we have to follow. Also in the HR, when Benfica hires someone, you have to accomplish the rules and all the things that it's necessary to achieve, but it's a combination. If you are proactive, and if you know the club, you know the all the departments where you can work, can come and work well, It's a combination. If you are active, when comes the opportunity, as the selection have much more possibility to win. But obviously, it's not just the personal contact. Today, more and more, it's necessary to pass on this to sides. A good contacting the club, understanding, and also then in the HR they also do a very very good job, and they validate you if you have this connection first.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. Cool. Now, about your job, what is exactly that you do as an international business manager there at Benfica? Tell us, paint us a picture.
Yeah. Well, I work here with a team the team we call it department, international department. Basically, we are responsible for the expansion of Benfica. It's a business oriented department, but more and more, and in Benfica there's always something in between pure commercial and sales, and we have to find good business opportunities, but also youth development, talent development. We in Benfica we have done more or less of all other clubs in the world, expanding, selling T-shirts, the business of TV rights, expanding in social media, the followers. Everything is important for Benfica, but where we are better, one of the better is developing talent, top players that we develop here in our Benfica campus, in our academy. We created this academy in 2006, and from 2006, from now, we developed from the scratch, absolutely from the scratch, one of the top academies in the world. Today, we are number one in the ranking of most profitable academy. We won 3 times the title, the award of best academy in the world. That means that this work, a bit less than 20 years, is very well done, and we have to expand this. We have to expand. Talent is everywhere. Our coaches used to say, where is people, the talent is also there. It's just the question to bring the methodology and the conditions, and we are very open to find other clubs, other academies, organizations, even some federations, and work together and develop the talent in the same way and with the same methodology that we have here in Benfica. Just to understand, to explain you a little bit better, in the model of Benfica, we have 50 schools, a network of football schools all over the country. Then we have 6 centers of talent, we call it CFTs. And then the best of the best goes to Benfica Campus with the age of 15 and the 15. And in campus, we develop this specialization phase between 15 and 19, and also the senior level, under 23, B team and A team. And we try to bring this model, this structure for other places, and all the process. Obviously, it's not just the model, but the methodology that we use there. We try to incentivize our partners in many places. Today we have a network of academies working with Benfica, and we try to bring that methodology, that organization. If it's possible to open some network of schools, good. If not, we work just in a specialization part with a aim to develop players for the top level. That's what we are doing in my department. Obviously, there's also sponsorship. There's also other type of business that we manage in the world scale. But this is more or less the same that every clubs are doing. What we do in a slightly different way is talent development in the and creation of a network of academies that work with Benfica. We try to do this in a long-term way, and that's our job.
That's cool. That's cool. How many people are in the international department there at the club?
Well, the international department, just if you look international, is not so many, about 6-8 people. But also we connect with a lot of people in Benfica, probably 10, 15, 20 people involved in the whole operation. We have one country manager in a specific market like America, Leandro Scabin. We have 2 or 3 resources in Benfica Campus when we receive the groups and the programs that we do in Portugal. There are also a general manager that gives us a help on that, a manager for the schools and national programs, and obviously we work together with also other parts of the club, with the marketing, merchandising, legal, procurement. It's difficult to if I tell you, okay, we are just 5 or 6. No, probably like 20 or 50 or 25 or 30. If you involve all this structure that day by day we work in the international business.
I see. Lourenço, I told you, I think, when we were talking before, that this is usually an interactive session. So there's already a few questions arriving here. So there's one from Ricardo Sabala, watching from Ecuador. Mm-hmm. Ricardo, your question is more about career. We're going to talk about that a little later. So stay there. We will answer your questions. There is also Mame Paulo saying hi from Brazil, special audience. There's Pav in Birmingham saying hi as well. And there's a question from Andre Rente. Andre, I don't know where you're watching from, so it would be nice if you let us know. And everybody else watching there, if you want to first say where you're watching from, but also prepare your questions, please do that. There's a question. This is the question from Andre. Is the expansion focus regarding talent scouting more towards South America, or is Benfica trying to build partnerships worldwide? The latest partnership that I saw was with a school in the USA, I think, and he's watching in Germany.
Okay. No, absolutely worldwide. As I told you before, we think that obviously there are countries with much more talent where football is more attractive to grow, but we can see good players everywhere, and if we bring the methodology and the organizations, and we create the good environment with the proper competition, it's possible to develop top talent everywhere. Absolutely, and we will see in Middle East they will grow a lot on the next years because they're bringing good coaches, great organization, and probably you don't see it now, but for sure in some years you will have top players over there for sure. And
you might want to mention the partnership or partnerships that you have in the USA. He mentioned one there.
Yeah. Just to finishing, obviously in Brazil we have probably our best operation in Minas Gerais. Is a technical partnership with several Benfica coaches, and we are entering on the 3rd year, and over there we are developing with our partner talent that one day we believe that will arrive from one of our teams, and the 19 and the BTB and the 23 B team. But it's possible to bring also top talent and develop top talent in other places. We are starting also in Africa, in Cote d'Ivoire, and other places. In America, obviously today is our main focus. America will be one of the top places in football also on the next years for sure, and we will open in next year one new academy. We call it residential academy, and is something between football and education. Will be in Florida in Zephyr Hills, and is something that makes a lot of sense for Benfica. Is bringing the spirit and experience of Benfica Campus to America in a bit different way. Obviously, there starts as a pay-to-play model. It's not complete free-to-play, but we will have scholarships and support to bring some good number of players with pure talent, with scholarship and the combination between free to play with pay to play.
Okay. Lourenço, and so you talked a little bit about your job, what you do. What is it that you like the most about the work that you do at Benfica?
I'm a Benfica from all my life, and what I like more is participate on this on this project. I think that it's make all sense that Benfica, after build the Benfica Campus with all the success, makes all sense that we expand this Benfica Campus in the capacity to develop talent, not just football players, but also coaches, directors, all staff involved in football, and makes all sense to do that in a worldwide scale. This is for sure is what I like more in this project.
And what for you is maybe what you like the least?
Well, not exactly what I like
the least. Is there anything
least.
that you like the least?
A big club with a lot of, but it is football, not just in Benfica. Is this what I like less? Is it's difficult to implement this, and many times with internal difficulties, because a club like this have so many areas, so many demands. In some cases, it's not easy to do quickly. We have to wait more, but in fact, all of us are super happy with the project. Obviously, we want to go faster and to grow, to open more places and have all capacity to expand quickly. But the resources are not unlimited, and we have to do. It probably is the only thing that we think that we could be a bit more fast on our work, but we have to be also. It's true that we are happy with it, and we are very confident that we will work well.
Lourenço, there's another question here from Ricardo Zabala in Ecuador. He's watching us on LinkedIn. He says, do you recommend the Benfica model for South American clubs that focus on developing football academies and later selling players? The Benfica model has proven to be sustainable, while other football clubs rely solely on buying players. I don't know if he's kind of comparing. Maybe I don't know if he's asking if you recommend that model for other European clubs. No, because if you take other South American clubs, no, it's actually for South American clubs. I already think that they are more or less similar, aren't they? Or are they not? What do you think?
No, this question is linked with the type of clubs. I think that that's true. Benfica is owned by the members. It's not owned by some private company or some multi-club ownership. It's owned by the members. We have more than 300,000 members. I'm one of the owner of the club. And I think that in South America the structure is very associative in the beginning. Not all the clubs, not all the countries, but the big clubs continue to be like that. And you mentioned the sustainability of the club. I think that's a very sustainable model. It's very democratic model, and I believe that this model works super well in South America. But it's necessary to invest on the long-term process. That's education, form players from young stages to the top. That means that you need to open space for the players in every teams, and especially in the transition for professional football. But I believe on that. I believe that that's the best model to develop top talents. The stories of the club, the story of a club is made for big heroes. We have here Eusebio. Today, our president, Rui Costa, started as a player with 7 years in Benfica, and he made all the process until the first team, and he went out to Fiorentina and to Milan, and then returned as a sports director. And today's president is an unbelievable story that everybody recognizes, and this is why Benfica is so big, because we have a tremendous heroes from the past. If you can create today the young people, young players like Bernardo Silva, like Ruben Dias, Felix. These are the heroes of that generation. Obviously, we love also players, Brazilian or Argentinian, they play super well, but it's always different when we know that this young boy arrived to our team and becomes one of the idols. And I think that in South America you have these idols from the youth development, from the base, from, as you say in Spain, from the cantera, and they are slightly different. And I believe that all the process in terms of the fans, in terms of the leaving the club, but also financially, obviously it's totally different to sell one player that comes from the base, from someone that you bought in the middle, and the transference is not the same. The revenue is absolutely different. Makes all sense to bet and to invest on the project like Benfica, on the model like Benfica in South America or in America, but especially in South America, where we have so many near things. I think that's the model, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Cool. There is also Williams Mansour saying hi from Nigeria to you. Mm-hmm. And Lourenço, reflecting a little on your career, let's talk a little bit more about that. So what are the skills that you have, or the main skills that you have, that you think that allowed you to get where you are in your career?
Well, first, understanding of the club. Being a Benfica socio give me a good background and understand the background of sports. I always think that's important. Everyone that arrived, that are starting to work in this industry, if you have some sports background, is always different. It's great. Also, I have also FSC. I have course of coach and sports director, and also something with certification of clubs. This type of education were important, and I think they are important today to do this job. In a big club like Benfica, we have also to understand all the club and the connections with different people inside of Benfica, good relation with everybody, and the international view. It's necessary to have good vision and think big in a club like Benfica. I think that are the main points that's necessary to do this job, and also thinking for someone that want to come to work in Benfica, I would say that it's necessary to also have new skills of communication, new skills of using the technology, new skills.
This is exactly one of the things that I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
What are the skills that are most in demand at the moment? So let's combine a few questions here. So I want you to talk about what you observe maybe there in the club. What are the skills that are most in demand? I don't know. Have you, since you started with the club, have you had the opportunity of participating in a recruitment process to recruit someone to work with you, or not yet?
Yes. I had a chance to participate on that. Today we
So
have
tell us, what do you normally look for? So when you participate in recruitments, what are the skills that you particularly, pay attention to, or what are the skills that you think are most in demand? And actually, I think we can all tie this up with a question by Ricardo Zabala. He says, "How can I find a job in a football team?" Right? He says that he studied advertising. Took a few courses in marketing, public relations, sports marketing, sports management in CONMEBOL, but his background is working as an assistant production, so he's doing something different. How can he be considered?
Well, the background of sports, some experience in the club, doesn't matter if a small club or big club. I think it is important to was involved in the club already. When you arrive a club of this dimension, or a federation or a liga, is necessary. I think it is very good if you have already 2 or 3 years working inside of a club with sports or organization. This is, I think, is a good point. Then today everybody that's in the universities and sports management, usually these guys have all the tools, all the education for these jobs. But on personal skills, it's very important to be very available to work, very quick in the response to the partners, give the trust, build trust relationships with our partners. There's a lot of demands. There's a lot of questions. It's necessary to work with many people all over the world. It's important to be quick. It's important to give the right answer, resolve the problems in the clients, also resolve all our questions in the club. Very, very quick on this interactions, small interactions, but may make all difference. And very open to learn, and constant information. Education is super important. One other point that I think that's important when you arrive at a big club, a big organization. It's in all big organizations for sure, but more in sports, is the sense of club. A very individual guy in a club like Benfica probably is not the best attitude. I think that if you Benfica, our motto is Floribus Uno, and is like that. We have to think first in the club, then our personally side. It's always good when we bring people that have this capacity to think in all Benfica first, in all the club first, and then in our department or in our individual person. It's a good point that I always see when I need to contract or I need to bring someone from our team.
And Lourenço, do you have many people approaching you saying that basically they connect with you because they would like to work for Benfica? Do you have a lot of people that do that? That people approach you?
Yes.
Perhaps
I'm
for a
very
job
active
there?
on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, and obviously I have some people asking. But in that point of
sorry, I wanted to ask you. So, what are maybe the big mistakes or the main mistakes that people do? Because sometimes there's maybe the right way to approach or a bad way to approach. Perhaps you can, you've been approached in ways that you didn't like, and you might want to give a tip of how people should approach someone professionally on LinkedIn.
No, I don't say mistakes. Okay, probably it's not exactly a mistake, but all the people usually they ask for opportunity. There's some opportunity in Benfica, where I can send my CV, where I can start to follow some opportunity, and this is the normal, more or less the normal way. But probably it's very difficult to find an opportunity with that approach. Probably is better to give some option and to resolve some problem, bringing some new idea. It's necessary to be much more objective if you really want to succeed, and to study more between departments, understand some problems that probably we have or the club or organization have, and entering more on the proactive way and try to resolve something that's not working well, bringing some new services, bring some capacity, to be much more proactive and to be more on the shoes of the club, and try to give some more attention on that. Because if someone send me the CV, or someone send me, I have a good contact here in Hungary or here in Uruguay, probably they need to do some partnerships, or they need to open a football school, or organizing just a football camp in the summer. Can I do some bridge over there? I have some ideas. It's possible to connect. Immediately, I will call him, and we start the conversation. And after that, it's possible to grow quickly some opportunity. If it's just a CV, or I have the skill, it's not so easy to get the attention, and it's less proactive. I would say that.
Yeah. Good advice. I think this is an advice that actually counts for every type of company or person that you approach. I think you're going to have a better response if you connect, with something to offer that that person really wants, right? So if you do some research, I tell this to people. Some people actually approach me, João, I saw that your Instagram isn't so good or whatever. And not only tell me that they can do, they already show how they can help. That's a great way to get someone maybe hired, at least in a project or something like that. We're obviously first trying to solve our problems, and then trying to help other people. Obviously, we always try to help whenever possible, but there's a priority in types of things that we want to solve. So as you said, if someone approaches you with something that could be interesting for the club, we'll definitely get more attention. Lourenço,
Yeah,
I have a few questions prepared.
Absolutely. If you don't have the point is probably some young guys starting to work. They don't have this experience. Well, but it's possible to gain this experience with an internship in a small club. Focus one or two areas, create this capacity, and when you apply to a club, big club or a good organization, you already have some skills and knowledge. You can really resolve some problems and start from that. I think that's the way today.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, I do have a few more questions for you here, but as I mentioned to you, I try to give priority to the audience. There's a few other questions coming in. I just need to know if you have a hard stop at 5 o'clock there, or we can go a few minutes over.
A few minutes more, no problem. We have more time, yes.
Okay. So there is one here from Valeria Lukverchik. I'm sorry if I murdered your name, Valeria. She's watching in Madrid. And thank you for today's webinar. Lourenço, you mentioned that you also deal with sponsorship and in the international business. How exactly is Benfica looking for sponsors? Do you have a special platform that connects football clubs and sponsors? Or it's a lot of, just hard work and going after them one by one, LinkedIn conferences, and how do you and the rest of the team there in charge of commercial doing that? I don't know how much you're involved in it actually.
Yeah, that's the point. It's something that I worked before Benfica a lot in sponsorship, but I'm not involved so much. My boss my director is responsible for the international sponsorships with Emirates, with Qatar, with that, but is working more him. We don't work so much on this part, and there's a department, the marketing and sales commercial department that manage with the, I would say, big team that area of sponsorship. I'm not sure if we have a proper platform, but absolutely we have a very experienced team on that area, and they follow all the levels of sponsorship and activations and brands. Benfica, it's important also to mention Benfica is a football club, obviously, but we have 30 sports. We have an Olympic team. We have a multimedia area with the Benfica TV, houses of Benfica all over the world, the Benfica Campus, the foundation of Benfica. That means there are a lot of events organized by Benfica, with running events, with educational events, and there's a lot of sponsorship opportunities around all these areas and all these events. And there's a very professional team and very good size working on that. In terms of platform, I don't know if we have something, but we obviously are connected with all the brands and very active in these new brands with new demands. More and more the sponsorship. It's also possible to do in different markets in different ways, and we are very inside these opportunities, obviously.
Okay. Andre, sorry, Valeria, maybe that doesn't answer entirely your question, but I hope it gives you a flavor. Obviously, I think, good network and especially when you're in a commercial department is really, really important. Do you know do you have any, Valeria, do you have any platform in mind that you know, or that you have maybe perhaps worked with in terms of finding sponsorship? If so, you can write that in the comments as well. There's a question from Andre, again, Rente. Does international business department from Benfica look for people with already some years of work experience, or are there also some junior roles openings from time to time?
Both, both. In without experience, we usually open some internships for some. We have some spots during the year to come here to do some internships, and to expand. We believe that next years we'll need more people. So, part of this staff will be coaches and technical directors and people with experience of football, but also some more support in the management side. But honestly, for this expansion, more and more we will need coaches. Coaches. Obviously, we need coaches with some experience in the Benfica academies and Benfica football clubs and Benfica Campus. But also we look someone abroad, or other coaches. There's also open opportunities, of course.
Okay. So, Lorenzo, we're almost like just 5 minutes to go to the hour. Maybe we can do a few more minutes, but I'll try to be cognizant of your time. I know you have meetings after that. And so before I ask my question, so Valeria says that I do know a few platforms. There's one called Sponsor Force by a good friend called Shotoju, based in Japan now. And I know there are others too, just forgot the names. But if you look for, we actually interviewed here Ishvin, who's the founder of Open Sponsorship, is another one that you might want to look at too, Valeria. So Open Sponsorship and Sponsor Force are a few of them. So Lourenço, so if I understood correctly, I think you studied until sort of high school. You didn't actually have the opportunity to go and do university. You said that you lost your parents quite early in life, and had to get to work. Mm-hmm. But then you also mentioned that you did a certain number of several certifications in various areas. So nowadays, with sports getting more and more professional, what do you think is the actual importance of, say, formal education?
I think that today, nowadays, it's important to do some university and then a master, and the master, more specialized master in sports. I think it's super important. Something with management or other area, but then doing the master in something connected with sports, especially looking my department, international expansion, or something connected with the corporate area, and then is very valuable if you have extra connections with the sport. In this case, with football or even other sports. Really big at a lot. You can enter by the rugby, or can enter by the futsal, or swimming, or some other sports. It's volleyball. It's super possible that you have good skills on these sports. You work a couple of years on these sports, and then you grow to inside of the club. Obviously, the main is football. Professional football is obviously the main focus, and where we have most of the resources. And I think it's that. It's important to have that experience. I always think, but probably it's very personal. If you like football, if you understand something more, if you have a course of coaches, if you have the experience in the field, in the locker room, if you manage some kids, some teams. Well, this is an extra, but it's good for understand the business. But it's also good to understand someone that was involved with other type of company that you need to more for the B2C, for example, understanding the customer journey of some area, and then you arrive to football. You have to think how the fans arrive the stadium, how the fans buy a ticket, how the fans comes to football or other sports, or how the companies and sponsors and partners they can do more and be more involved in the stadium here in the boxes or in the corporate areas. How it's possible to create better experiences and better journeys for everybody that comes to football and the shows. And this is today a big club, like there is a big platform for multiple options in terms of events, in terms of entertainment, and every knowledge in these areas is very important to do this type of works.
Right, right. Thank you. Listen, we're finishing up. There's a few more questions, less about work, more about your personal sort of experience. I want to know if working in sports, do you have any good story that you, or what is the best story you have experienced thanks to your work in sport?
Well,
I mean, it could be a lesson that you learned, maybe a funny story, or
this one is special for you as a Brazilian. My best story of my life was the World Cup in Brazil. Very especially, I have some family in Brazil. My grandmother was Brazilian, probably you didn't know, but I'm born and then I grew with the Brazilian football, and obviously one day be part of the World Cup, work inside of the World Cup was incredible story. 1 month or 2 months is in Rio de Janeiro, south of Brazil. Everywhere in Brasilia, Porto Alegre was incredible to know all the cities and to live and to work inside of this big tournament. Was the most excited experience for sure in my life. After that, was possible to do other very high level things, but this was probably the first one and was very special.
Very, very, very good. Yeah, I have good memories of my first World Cup that was in Germany as well, and that was
2006.
really, really nice. Well, would you say that's your maybe favorite sporting moment, or is there something more related to Benfica?
Sorry,
would you say that's your favorite sporting moment?
Favorite sports?
You got disconnected.
Yeah, was some problem with the link. Can you repeat my favorite sport?
No, I asked if that one that you said is your favorite sporting moment.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, with Benfica, we had a lot of good moments. Went into the several Champions League finals during the years and Europa League finals and titles. But the moment to work inside of a World Cup, and especially in Brazil, was absolutely the top moment.
Right. And I think my last question, normally I close with that. I ask all my guests to maybe recommend a book or a podcast or a YouTube channel that you think that the audience would like. So I'll give you 20 seconds to think about it. maybe a great book that you read that you would recommend to our audience. But just gonna tell Williams here. He says that he's looking for a program where he could study football business like Benfica. I just posted there in the comments on YouTube that they can check our education matchup quiz. That's in iworkinsport.com/quiz. So just for everyone to know, let me just write that down here. So Williams, if you want to go and check it out, basically there you will be able to answer a few questions about what is it that you like to study, if it's part-time, if it's full-time, if it's in person, if it's online, the topics that you like to do it, and then the AI will recommend a few programs to you. Okay, so check that out. iworkinsport.com/quiz. Now, final one, Lourenço, do you have a book to recommend, or a podcast, or YouTube channel?
Just before I was preparing a little bit our conversation, and it's also important to mention that if you search by Benfica opportunities in the internet, in Google or something, you will find a platform of Benfica with all opportunities that we have. It's a very good website, and today I think that we have six opportunities open as a sponsorship, activation, kit assistant, store operator, junior data engineer. Well, there's some opportunities. Everybody can go there and apply. Just to search Benfica oportunidades or Benfica opportunities in English, and you go there. It's important to mention because it's a good platform. It's a good website. We launched this some time ago, but not.
That's excellent.
Last month, or some months ago, and is working super well.
Excellent. We'll take notes.
Well, I would give an advice. My advice is a podcast. I love this podcast. Is made for Pedro Nogueira. It's a very good friend, young friend, very talented. The podcast, the name is Folha Seca. It's a podcast with episodes in Portuguese, in Spanish, in Italian. I probably will find some also in English. Is a very polyglot young guy, but super talented. We're telling always about sports management, and I think that the audience will love. I learned a lot with this podcast. I think that now he have more than 70 podcasts. Probably is not very known, but it's super nice content, and you can learn a lot on that. Probably not a lot in English. I'm sorry, but I'm also Portuguese. I have to. I prefer to send something more on the Portuguese, Spanish side, but you will find also something.
I met Pedro, I think, through you. Yeah, Folha Seca is a really, really cool podcast indeed. Very nice. So we passed only about, I think, 9 minutes here from our scheduled time. I hope that's okay, Lourenço. I cannot thank you enough for participating. It was nice to have also the participation in the audience. There is also Alexandro here. He says in the south of Brazil, watching us. He says he's in Porto Alegre. Thanks for being here with us as well, Alexandro. So everybody that is still here watching on YouTube, if you didn't hit that like button yet, please do that. That helps us a lot. You can subscribe to the channel too. There's loads of previous interviews there. There's going to be many more in the coming weeks. So I look forward to seeing you all there. Lourenço, thanks again. muito obrigado, and I hope to see you very soon.
Muito obrigado, João. If someone wants to link on the LinkedIn, it's very easy to connect me, and I'll be probably also you in the World Football Summit in the next weeks, in 18 and 19 of September, and some project around the youth development of football and the possibility connection with Benfica. More than welcome to send me messages, and we'll be in touch.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'll see you in Valencia in a few weeks. Lourenço, I'm going to end this. Just stay there a few more minutes. I'll talk to you right after we end the stream. Bye-bye, everyone. See you soon. See you next time.
Carrega, Benfica.